Hey, welcome back to my table. My name is Daniel, and I'm just a guy who's identified how loved and adored I am by God. It's my passion and my purpose to help everyone I meet understand their place of value to the King. So today we're actually in day number 38 of our devotional Solomon's Song, and we are talking about the King and the bride and the communication between the two. And in that communication, there is some symbolic beauty that if you don't ask, if the Spirit doesn't reveal it to you, you miss it. And in missing it, you miss a part or an aspect of God's heart for you that changes the way that you relate and identify with the God that created you. I love this particular passage we're looking at because if you looked at the last video we were together, he talked about her hair, he talked about her eyes, and in that, in him expressing his heart about those things to her, it brought about this understanding that our name has changed our value. Our name that God gives us has changed our value, and our name only comes from Him. And so as He says this to her, we're going to look at the passage here. And what He says here is so beautiful that when I finally figured this out for me in my relationship with God, everything changed. Everything. And this is awesome. I cannot wait to show you this. Song of Solomon, chapter number 4, verse number 2 says this: Thy teeth, okay, are like a flock of sheep. And remember, the king never settles for the Rocky Balboa presentation, to his bride of his heart. It's never was, your eyes are really pretty, I really like your teeth too, they're all straight, they're all shiny. Yeah, he never does that. Like, he will find ways to speak to her heart that will connect with her in a life-changing way. He'll bring about things that she eats or tastes and those types of things because they're things that she connects with on a daily basis. And that's exactly how God is with us. He will bring His heart to us and say, I present this to you in a way that you can understand on a daily basis through the daily experiences that you go through. Remember the parables in the New Testament. It was not some deep theological thinking. Although there's much depth in the parables, Jesus brought about redemption through a son that was lost. He brought redemption through a coin that was of lost. He brought redemption through sheep and through food and plants and the oceans, all the different things that people could connect with and see on a daily basis. He brought this truth so that anytime someone would see a coin or miss a coin or find something that was lost, they would remember, hey, I bring this much redemptive value to God, that rejoicing when He finds me. When they saw a sheep, they couldn't help but remember this is the Lamb of God. There was different things that He communicated with us on our level, and that's what you see here. So check this out. Thy teeth are like a flock of sheep that are even shorn, which came up from the washing, whereof every one bare twins, and none is barren among them. Now, at first glance, you'd say, okay, I can establish that the bride was never in the front row of a Willie Nelson concert. She has all the teeth in her mouth. Okay, that is one way of looking at this. But if that's all you get from it, you get a laugh and then you move on and you miss it. Okay? Now look at who's speaking. That's the power of this passage. It is not the bride speaking about her own teeth. Okay? It is the king speaking to the bride about her teeth. And notice he says certain words. He said they're like sheep. He said they're even shorn. He said they come up from the washing. He said there's twins. He talks about the flock and the size of the flock and the state of health of the flock. And then he talks of this act where they come up from the washing. When the sheep would get dirty with brambles and briar and grass and different things, they would go in for the washing pools before they came up to market. And the washing pools for a shepherd were the most beautiful things. Think of this: when you own a car and you go out and you clean that car. Like, the best feeling in the world is to watch your car come out of the car wash. I don't care how rusty that car is. When it comes out of the car wash, the water's off of it, the windshield is clean, the chrome bits, what chrome may still be left in the car, is shining and shimmering, and even the dents don't look quite as dented. But when you see a dirty car, that dirty car, they look at it and go, man, that thing's terrible. But to watch it come out of the washing, or to see it in the driveway clean, think of a brand new car, you get it all clean and waxed, and you look out in the driveway, it just looks immaculate. You open the door, and the interior has been detailed, and it just, this is nice, right? It fills your heart with this sense of, like, I'm glad I own this car. I don't care how rusty it is, I'm glad I own this car. This car is beautiful. And for a shepherd, this would have been the highlight for them when they saw their flock come out, because it reflected on them, like, I cared for my flock. Look how good my flock looks. It means that I have cared and been attentive. Now, the only problem I have with this comparison here is the beauty of the comparison here, because he spoke it, and there is one person in the kingdom that probably would not know this feeling it gives your heart, and that's Solomon. I mean, it's one thing to look at goats coming down from a mountain saying that's powerful. But unless you've ever been a shepherd, you wouldn't necessarily find the soul stirringness of sheep coming up from the washing. You wouldn't necessarily find the beauty in shorn sheep. You know, maybe for a dollar amount, but because this is what I get. But when you care for sheep, it reflects on your ability to care. Solomon would not have known that. So why even use that comparison? You ready for this? Solomon used a comparison that she would understand, because Solomon had heard her with his ears speak about what she enjoyed the most about it. Solomon listened when she spoke. And she spoke from her heart and said, I love this. And Solomon looked at that and said, I love it too. And not only that, but I'm going to, just like this made you feel, this is how your smile makes me feel. I'm going to take that same feeling that you get from that. I'm going to tell you that I feel the same way when you smile at me. It did two things. Number one, it gave her something she could relate to, but on an even heavier basis, a deeper basis, it let her know that the things that are important to you are also important to me, because I heard those things as well. I heard you when you spoke. Can I just tell you that it's amazing to me that the God of the universe that created everything that we hear, everything that we do, everything that we enjoy on this earth, he created those things, but he also takes the time to individually listen to us, because not everybody is affected by everything the same way. Not all of us look at a cup of coffee and say, man, this stirs my heart. Can I tell you what? I chose this cup today because this cup means, this is one of my favorite cups out of all my coffee cups. This cup my son made for me for Christmas. He's 5. So he made this cup, and my dream and my desire one day is to have a property by a lake where people can come for 3 days at a time and resurrect things in their life that have died. Whether it's getting help in a financial area, or getting help in a relational area, or getting help in a business area, whatever it is, but to have the place for 3 days when someone can just come and detach and unplug, no cell phones, no bills, not have to worry about anything. You just come, just show up. Here's the key to your cabin, and you stay for 3 days, and 1 or 2 hours a day over this weekend. You and I are going to meet on this dock, and we're going to talk about whatever it is, and we're going to help find a breakthrough for you. And if it's an area that I don't understand, I will have an expert in that area there at that dock for you to spend time with. And the rest of the time, here's your journals, here's some reading materials, here's some DVDs, here's some resources. You just go and you just you get with God on this. You didn't come here to be with my family. You didn't come here to be entertained by my kids. You came here to get away from your own. You came here to just have a place. And so the place of that was called Lakeview, and that's the property. And I want to have that someday. I believe that I'm supposed to have that. And Lakeside, the whole theme of lake houses, that's very strong with me. And so my 5-year-old, man, he made me this coffee cup from Christmas, because honestly, there are times and seasons when anyone has a dream, or anyone has a seed that you put in the ground. There are seasons where you just doubt. You think, man, is this even going to manifest? Because my circumstances don't necessarily always equate to accomplishing this goal, right? But he gave me this cup, and it says Lakeside, right? There he is. Here's this 5-year-old spelling. Lake side, and then is the E right there. I love that. And he drew this little lake house right here. There's the lake house, and there's the dock where Daddy's going to help talk to people, and here's the lake water, and then here is this guy, and this is me. And I thought when I first saw it, I was like, does that say cool? You know, and I said, buddy, what's he saying? He says, Daddy says God. And to me, that is so cool. Here's this guy out by a lake, by a dock, talking about God. And I look at this, and what this tells me, what made this so beautiful to me, is that my son heard my heart in the course of our conversations, in the course of just life. He knows what God has for me. He knows my dream because I've expressed it to him. And he communicated back with me through something that he heard me say. And to me, I look at this as a greater picture of the fact that God hears our heart. And when we speak to our Father and He speaks to us, man, He doesn't just talk to us in the same generic way. He doesn't just say, hey, it's my booming voice. You know, He doesn't do that. For some people, it's in a whirlwind. For some people, it's in a still small voice. For some people, it's in a cloud of burning bush. And for some people, it's in there. One person I talked to said, God speaks to me through sensations in my body. I get a burning in my shoulder. I know God's healing someone's shoulder, and I speak that out, and someone claims that they get healed. Whatever, it's just like God's speaking to us, and it's like He speaks to us in ways that we understand. And it's His way of saying, I understand you and your heart individually, unlike any other person. You know, somebody else could say, hey, I found this coffee cup and give it to me, and that's great. And people give me coffee cups all the time, and I have them on these YouTube channels and things, and I love it. I love coffee, right? But for someone to say, I got a coffee cup I made for you that speaks of your dreams and heart, saying, Dad, I hear what you're saying, and I believe in that. And God speaks to us in the exact same way. I love this passage where He talks to her about something only she would have expressed. He was saying, I hear you. I've heard you talk about this, and I pay close attention to what you say, and I understand and I value what your heart finds value in. He does this because God loves your smile. God loves your smile. He gave you this. You don't have to have words. When someone smiles, you don't have to even have words. I don't have to speak your language to know that you enjoyed something about what you just experienced because you smiled by it. He loves it. God gave it to you, and your smile is an expression of something here. It's like a bat signal of your heart. It just shows what's here. And when you smile, it's one of the easiest, most amazing ways that you and I can give away God to somebody else, is to smile at them. Is to greet them with this. Because it lets them know there's something going on in here. And it just kind of had to surface. And I'm just going to let you know that I'm very, very thrilled about something in my life. And it's letting them know that. Let me ask you a question. What has God done for you that causes you to smile? Think about that today. What is something God does for you that causes you to smile? Because honestly, if a smile is an outward reflection of an inward source, then the King said, I love to make you smile, because when you smile, when this happens on your face, when I say something and you smile at me, it's a reflection of something that I have done in your heart for you, that I've helped you with in your heart, that I've added some value that I've added to you. He said, I love to see you smile. When you smile, it stirs my heart, just like your heart is stirred every time you see the goats. It just lets you know that you're a good shepherd. To me, God says, when you smile, it shows that I am a good shepherd. It reminds me that something's going on in here that has changed and for the better. It reminds me that I am the good shepherd for you. And I want you to think today about something that God has done that causes you to smile. And maybe yours is a coffee cup, maybe yours is a cup of coffee, maybe yours is whatever. But it's a coffee cup. So for me, this makes me smile when I see it, and I explain that. But for you, it's something else. Maybe it's in your kids, maybe it's in your spouse, maybe it's in something about your day. You wake up and the light comes in your room in a certain way, it just makes you smile. Whatever it is, it's those ways that God does. And when He causes you to smile, your heart wants to smile, I challenge you to just let it go. Just smile and just give up the fight and just let it go and give that smile back and let God know, hey, you thrill my soul, you thrill my heart, and you are the good shepherd for me. That is day number 38. When we get together next time, we're going to talk. He's talking about her. He does this, okay? So here he's on the steps of the palace. He's holding her hands. He talks about her eyes. When he talks about her eyes, she looks down, right? Because that's what we do. Someone says, hey, you have beautiful eyes, we look away. Nobody goes, oh, look more. You know? He says, hey, you have beautiful eyes. She looks down, and then when he looks down, he notices her hair, because her hair kind of shakes, and he speaks about her hair. And when he speaks about her hair, she looks back up and she smiles, and he speaks about her smile. And when she smiles, what's the very first thing you do when someone says, I love the way you smile? We all do it. I love the way you smile. I love your smile. We close our mouth, right? Gotta close it up. And when she closes her mouth, she's got her lips, and the King is not put off. He talks about her lips next. And I'm telling you, it's a setup unlike anything. Hitch would be jealous of what this king, the Mac Daddy, says about her lips. It's awesome, and it's all coming out next time we're together. Have a fantastic day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye now.